A very warm welcome to all of you. So today we have it's got two sessions. First will be a presentation by Anitha Reddy. That will be for about 45 minutes. Following which we'll have a conversation with Anitha Reddy and Suresh Jairam. Anitha is an art historian, is an artist, and who believes strongly in the power of community practice. And the exhibition that you see here is the result of a decade-long of engagement with great sensitivity and restraint with the Siddhi community. So with this, I'd like to invite Anitha to begin the presentation. A warm welcome to Anitha.
So yeah, my presentation will be about like the Siddhi quilters of North Karnataka. Have you heard of any Siddhi quilters? No. Do you know who Siddhis are? No. Okay. Siddhis are these African descendants who have settled in India, mostly Karnataka. They are in Gujarat, they are in Karnataka, they are in Hyderabad, they are in Pakistan. So if you see the features, they look like Africans, their hair and all that. Like, so I have been working with them from past decade, 1 decade. So who are these Siddhis? Like, where did they come from? So they came from East Africa. So it was a result of a slave trade by the Portuguese and the Arabs. So they've been brought to India as slaves, as merchants, as, yeah, you can read that, like, yeah, merchants, mercenaries. So they came to India, but they also, like, I mean, you know, from 9th century to 16th century. Usually during the 16th century, it was by the Portuguese. From 7th to 9th century, it was by the Arabs. When I see your blank faces, I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, yeah, what am I saying? Like, I mean,
Africans came to India.
yeah, it's like a, yeah.
In 2 batches. One to the Arabs,
It's not,
one to the Portuguese.
yeah. How were they brought? Like, I mean, the images can show, like, they show that, like, you know, they've been forced and they've been brought to India. So, anyway, let me go to another slide. So, one question comes to our hearts. Why did they come to India? Like, I mean, which are the routes? Like, you know, what are the routes they took and why did they come? So, the route shows, like, I mean, yeah, you know, have you heard of Vasco da Gama? So yeah, he founded, he was the inventor of, he invented in India. Serious note, like, I mean, yes, yeah. How India and Africa was connected, like, you know, by the Indian Ocean route. So that is how the slaves were being brought to India. Like, I mean, so the Arabs, like I said, like in the beginning, like how Arabs were also responsible for this entire thing. Like Arabs used to go to the Eastern Africa and get people from there. Like basically they were being sold as slaves in India. So how did they come to Karnataka is the next question. You know, we also used to have Deccanese in Karnataka, like where the slaves were brought, you know, it means sold to the Deccanese actually. That's how they are in Karnataka. That is one of the reasons. So like I said earlier, like they are in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka. The main reason, like I mean, the community I work with is in Karnataka. Yeah, so they are like, I mean, you know, they are settled in the Karnataka, forests of Karnataka, so they depend on the forests of Karnataka. So you can see like the picture shows like how they are, you know, dependent on the forest resources. So there is this history like during, you know, the Portuguese rule, like if you remember during the British rule, there was abolition of slavery. Does anyone remember that? Like, you know, that is when they escaped from the Goan territory to the Karnataka forest. Like, so I'm just giving all this history because, like, I mean, you know, for me it is very important to understand their history. Like, I mean, why is it important for me to work with them, like why their history is important. Like as an artist, like I mean, you need to know, like I mean, you know, what are you doing, why do you want to do. And like I said, like I mean, you know, they have been in India for more than 300, 400 years. Like they've assimilated into our culture, like they've adapted different religions like Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. So you, when you see them, like you don't really, other than their features, like you don't really say that like they're foreigners. But they do experience discrimination, you know, like I mean, they are in the forests, and then when they come to the cities, the urban area, uh, you know, there is one example, like I mean, I was going with one of the Siddhi ladies in Bangalore in an auto, and then the auto driver said like, madam, where do you want me to drop you, like, you know, so the lady said like, okay, I want to get dropped here in Canada. You know, the auto driver so kicked like, oh, you're a foreigner and you can talk Kannada, like, you know, I mean, so he said like, I have full discount for you. I will not take any charge for the auto. But the thing is, like, I mean, here, even though she was kicked, like, how we don't know ourselves, like, I mean, you know, there are people, like, I mean, you know, this is sad actually, like. Okay, let's not, I mean, yeah, the videos have been, not been played, like. Yeah, like I said, they've adapted Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. Like, I mean, yeah, they also speak Konkani, Kannada, Marathi, and Urdu. So it also depends on their religious adaptation. If they are Muslims, they talk Urdu and Kannada. If they are Christians, they talk Konkani and Kannada. The ones in Karnataka, actually. So the Hindus also talk Konkani mixed Marathi and then Kannada. So they've adapted completely, like I mean, like adapted to our culture, assimilated very well. So they've forgotten everything about Africa. Only few terms, the Swahili language is seen in their, you know, songs. That too, not in Karnataka, the Gujarat cities. Usually, like, I mean, yeah, you see these phrases, but not in Karnataka. They've completely forgotten. So only thing they remember is orally they say, we are from Africa. When you ask them, like, I mean, where in Africa, when did you come? So they don't remember anything. Like, and also there is no history, written history about that. So yeah, why do I work with them, like, you know? So this is a Kaudi practice which is seen in North Karnataka, not just by the Siddhis. It has been practiced by lot of communities, but not for the commercial use, for their, you know, family use. So I came across this, and then I've been working with them for a decade actually. Like, why was it important for me? Like, because one of my friend who got married to a Siddhi girl, so I got introduced to the family some 20 years back, and then we stayed and went and stayed in the forest, and then in their home, like, I mean, yeah, I saw one of the quilts after 10 years, like, I mean, so I saw that there was a small piece of my fabric what I had given to them. So when I saw, like, I was kicked, like, oh, okay, where did this come from, kinds, you know, like, and then, like, later, I asked the lady, like, did you make it? Like, she said, no, I didn't make it, and then I had to get it done from someone else. So I went in search of the quilter, actually, who made it. So the way, like, I mean, if you recognize that, it's a sickle used for farming. You can't see it, it's a video actually, but I don't know if the video can be played here. So that's how they used to make it for their homes. You know, they start putting the pieces together from the edge. The back layer acts as a canvas to, you know, to put the fragments together. Like I said, like, I mean, it's not just the Siddhis, like, it's also practiced by a lot of people in North Karnataka. So while I was going to Gulbarga, I saw one of the lady washing, you know, these quilts by the canal. So, and then they take it to their farms and they sit and stitch. And that is one of the village where the entire village quilts actually. So there, like, when I asked them, like, why do you quilt? They said, no, we have to. That is our work. Like, I mean, so what I'm saying is, this form is there. Like, quilting is there across North Karnataka, practiced by lot of communities in different ways. Why is it not an art form? Why don't we see it as an art form is the question. The question which I always ask myself. Just because they have not gone to a college, it's not been recognized as an artwork. 1 minute. So how did it change? Like, I mean, with my intervention, basically they were working for themselves, They were doing it for, it had a functional use. So after my intervention, like, I've been working with them, like, to say, okay, it can also have more than a functional use. If you see the quilt, there are a lot of houses, like, I had to sit with the quilter and work with her, like, okay, yeah, express yourself on the material, with the material what you have. So now they have broken away from that, it is only made, it only has a functional purpose. It has to be made for their homes. It is for warmth. That is not there anymore. Like, now it is also a canvas for the women to express herself. Like, I mean, sir, express about your surroundings, your narratives, everyday narratives. So there was this exhibition in Bangalore, like my professor, the first time they came to Bangalore was like there was this curated exhibition in Bangalore my professor had put together. So there, in connection to the urban fabric and the rural making, like we had brought these quilts together as artworks and shown in Bangalore. That was their first time coming to Bangalore. And this is another project. I'm sorry the video doesn't play here. So you can see the process here. Like, I'm sorry, I'm little disconnected. Like, I mean, I'm not making any sense. Like, I'm just going on like, yeah. So you can see the process here, how they make it. Like, I mean, as an artist, like you also learn lot of mediums here, going to college. Like, I mean, as a community, we also have so many things. Like, I mean, we'll be doing, like, but we don't learn to value that actually. Like, so they also have this process of putting these pieces together. It is like, okay, let me put all the shirts, pants, saris, blouses which are available in the house, and then put them together to provide warmth for the family. That is how it is, been. That is why we see it in those rural parts of North Karnataka by different communities. When you just go, you'll see like quilts hung on the bridges, tempos, everywhere. Like, so it is a pastime for the women to make this, and also, like, I mean, yeah, to also make it for their homes. So now, like, I mean, after my intervention, like, I mean, yeah, this is what is happening with the group. Sorry. So for Siddhis especially, it is also like, because they don't have a history, like they don't remember, there is no written history. This is a way for the women to tell history, their oral history, archiving their family history. If you see, like, I mean, the materials, like they'll remember each and every piece, okay, that belonged to my husband, that belonged to my son. I mean, these are not those quilts, like these are quilts, like, I mean, I go out and pick the material from different areas, like in Bangalore, from Ahmedabad, from the upcycled market, and then like put it together and give it to them. Like, so now there is also a shift in that, the way they are working. Like, I mean, so I look at it as, as an Indian art, like, I mean, we always think like something, if we have to do it with our hands for it to be called art, but we don't, like, we generally we fail to see what woman does at home, like, to recognize that as art. Like, so that is also one of my effort to say that, like, we also as a community have a, medium and method, but somehow we don't like acknowledge it for ourselves. So if you see in one of the images, like, I was working with a woman, like I wanted her to translate a tree basically. Like, in my effort to draw a tree on a paper, and I told her, like, understanding her medium, but the way it was translated, it was so futuristic. Like, what I gave and the way she had understood was two different things. Like, so I don't dictate the terms, like, okay, this is how we are supposed to do. Like, she has to come up with her own understanding to do the things. That's a very interesting story. Like, there is, you can see TIT. I'd asked her, like, look around your surroundings, like what influences you, how do you, like, so that's a pillowcase with a brand Titan in her house. Like, that is what she sleeps on. It's a urea bag actually. Like, we've been converted into a pillowcase for her. So she was influenced by that form, and she had made it. It's like T.I.T actually. So when I spoke to her, it was very interesting. She said she thought it's a form, and then she liked it. I said, no. Do you know it's a letter, T-I-T, I said. Like, she said, no, 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 it's not, she said. Then I had to explain it's English, and that is how it is. Like, and there again, for her, Kannada was the only language she knew, like, but not English actually. So, but how the language is being used as a form in the quilt, that. And this lady, her name is Basobil. You can see how embroidery, sorry, the images are not clear here, but yeah. How there is narration, there is a storytelling in the thing. Like, if you see there are these girls are like, in the end, like skipping, and then there is a man walking a dog. I'll leave it at this. Like, maybe I'll answer your questions instead of like me saying, like, how I work. So how do you think, like, the construction happens basically? How do you think the construction happens on the quilt? Can anyone, okay, when you see at the work, like, how do you think, like, the construction is happening? Just one or two words if you can say, like, yes, yeah. So unlike the Western quilting where it's visualized as three layers, like, the top layer, the batting, and then the backing layer. Here, like, there is no, they are not visualized separately. They are all constructed at the same time, and it always starts at the edge and then comes to the center. Like, they start at the edge and then they go along. When I say, like, they keep adding the pieces, and it's not unique to the cities. All the communities in that area, that is how they work. Like, so they, come, finish the edges, they keep adding, and then they come to the center. I know it doesn't make sense at this point, but, like, yeah. They see this quilt as a human form. They call it, like, at the end, like, they always close the quilt with a fabric, the center. Like, it's called Hote Tumsodu. Hote Tumsodu means let your belly be full. It means, like, even a quilt is like a belly. Quilt is like a belly, and then it has to be closed, like, it can't be left blank. So it also means blessing their daughter, like, let your belly be full. And if you see, there are corners there, like, like, they're called fulkas. They start they start with that actually. That yeah, the tags. Yeah, it's like there's so much is happening, but they still feel it is incomplete without those full cast. They are like the ears of the face. Yeah, no, there is no idea. It is like in the moment they just, all the ideas are in the head and it's the make do thing. It like you have the material and then it's dictated by the fabric what you have in front of you, and then also the tools and material what you have actually. So it's dictated by that. The construction just happens very in a very innate, like, I mean, that's why it's very unique. I mean, if you see, it's all different, made by different women, and each woman has her own signature actually. It's, there's no repetition. It can't be. Yeah, they use darning thread. I mean, in English it's called darning thread, but it's quilting thread basically. It's thicker to hold the layers basically. It holds all the layers together. Unlike the kanta you use very thin thread as a decorative thing. It has become decorative. But this stitch, this running stitch has both functional and a decorative purpose, because it's holding the design, the material, the, you should just go around and see, like, I mean, the design gets formed because of these stitches actually, like that's what defines the.
Where would we buy this thread?
I take it from the upcycle markets and give it to them. Like, I mean, yeah, I buy them the scissors. I take the.
For your intervention, what kind of thread would they be getting the thread?
From the market, like, yes, yeah. It's interesting because, like, wherever the women, like, I mean, are doing this, like, I mean, the stores there, like, there'll be mobile stores, like, he would be carrying that thread and selling it to the women who would be quilting. Like in Lambani community, that guy is called Rangaraju or something, like. So he is the one who would get them the material what they need for embroidering. So like that, the quilting also, there are these mobile shops where they carry, and women, when they want, they go and buy that and then do it. Like it's like once in a week or once in a month, or they put the request to them and then he gets it. Like, yeah. It's always white thread, like, yeah. It's mostly white thread, like, yeah. So how the design also gets dictated by these, external, like, I mean, the way the thread is being bought, the fabric, availability in the rural areas, like, yeah.
Thank you, Anita. Now we can have a panel discussion.